I was at your boy Rico from RicoScores, and yes, I'm still working on all of the breakdowns for the most notable undrafted free agents. I'm gonna give y'all the final list of undrafted free agents announced by the Commanders really soon as well, and I'm still working on the breakdowns for all of the draft picks that I haven't gotten to yet. But we're just gonna take a break here, have a little bit of fun. It's time to talk about some wild Washington Commanders reports and rumors going on right now, because there's a lot going on that just came out within like the past 24 hours. First of all, it's being reported by Adam Schefter himself that we preferred JJ McCarthy over Drake Maye. We heard that rumor sometime before the draft. Wasn't necessarily sure how much I believed it. He's saying it with like the utmost confirmation and confidence. Also, are the Washington Commanders planning on signing wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk in 2025 rather than trading for him in 2024? Also, there's a report that came out that the Washington Commanders are the fifth happiest fan base in the NFL, and a lot more than just that. Those are just the starts. We have Jayden Daniels' betting odds right now across several different betting boards as to how likely he is to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, all kinds of things like that. So stay tuned for that. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you follow me on all of the social medias, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of it, man. We're taking over everywhere. Your one-stop shop for everything Commanders, especially with this draft stuff. Again, I'm doing an individual video breakdown, weaknesses, strengths, comps, team fits, how analysts feel about the pick and things like that for every single player that we drafted, and even some of our most notable undrafted free agents like you've already seen me working on. And then I'm also doing film sessions for each of these guys that I do an individual breakdown on as well leading up to training camp. So every notable player that we've brought in, every draft pick, but also even some of the undrafted free agents, I will be doing at least 2 videos on each of those guys, an individual video breakdown and a film session. So make sure you stay tuned, because I have y'all covered everything draft as far as the Commanders go, and I'm gonna keep y'all updated on any reports, rumors, and chaos going on with the Commanders even outside of the draft specifically. And stay tuned, because I will keep you updated in case we go and sign some more veteran free agents after the draft. That's usually like the third wave of free agency. We saw the Eagles already get Mekhi Becton. Maybe the Commanders are putting something in works after the draft as well. But let's go ahead and dive into this video. Let's get it. Adam. I was at y'all. So hey man, first of all, let's start with the whole Brandon Aiyuk thing and where it came from. What was the catalyst to where all of this chaos and all of these rumors started? How did it pick back up? Because we saw after we took Jayden Daniels round 1, there were a lot of rumors going around that we may trade for Brandon Aiyuk. Now those rumors are starting to pick back up. Why? Because of this picture right here. So apparently last night, quarterback Jayden Daniels linked up with his former Arizona State teammate and current best friend, 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, I know that Jayden Daniels, of course, is really close to Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. He was just their teammate at LSU and things like that. But if you're asking off the field wise, it seems like Brandon Aiyuk is the guy he's closest to out of the entire NFL. That's literally his boy. Again, he's close to Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and things like that. They were just balling out together at LSU, and of course they're friends and everything. But like his best friend is Brandon Aiyuk, and they're hanging out last night for, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. I'm not even exactly sure where they were mutually. Like, are they in the DMV area together? Did Jayden Daniels go back home to Cali, and then that's where he is with Brandon Aiyuk? I feel like that's probably the most likely, because he is from San Bernardino over there. Shouts out to San Bernardino. I love a lot of their rappers and things like that. So more than likely, since Brandon Aiyuk plays for the San Francisco 49ers, which is hours and hours away from where Jayden Daniels is from in San Bernardino, but still, they're both in the same state. I would bet more than likely that Jayden Daniels went over there, but who knows at all. But either way, of course, the internet did not handle this information and this picture responsibly. Of course, rumors and chaos were set ablaze, and maybe when I'm like really sitting back and thinking about it, maybe instead of trading for him in 2024, the Commanders already have some insider information, got word that they could just basically wait on him to come here as a free agent in 2025. Of course, the 49ers will get a great comp pick for it, but at the very least, we will not have to give up any trade value. The 49ers were originally announcing that they wanted at least a first round for him. There's been back and forth reports about they're close to a deal, they're far apart from a deal, all of those things like that. Then we got to after the first round of the draft, going into the second round Friday morning, afternoon, before the draft happened Friday night, we were starting to hear that, oh, maybe the Commanders trade one of their seconds. They have 36th and 40th overall, both high second round picks. Maybe they give up one of those to get Brandon Aiyuk, but I think it's starting to look like maybe the Commanders are just willing to wait. Again, they want to be competitive this year, but it's not like they're putting all of their chips in one basket to go out there and be Super Bowl contenders right now. If we're following the best case scenario, which is the Houston Texans blueprint, where in 2022, they were bad. 2023, second overall pick, draft your franchise quarterback in CJ Stroud. Now you're a playoff contender. You win your division and even win a playoff game. And then the following offseason, you're making trades like they did for Stephon Diggs at receiver. If we're following that blueprint, that means we are 1 year away from getting Brandon Aiyuk. That wouldn't be this offseason. So this regular season, we got to go out there and win the NFC East and even win a playoff game. And then the next offseason, when we get to 2025, that's when we go and make our splash signings or trades, and we get, instead of Stephon Diggs, we get the equivalent Brandon Aiyuk to bring, again, with his former teammate back at Arizona State, Jayden Daniels, and his best friend. It just makes too much sense. But of course, all of these rumors first really started to gain momentum once we saw Jayden Daniels tweet the emoji eyes, looking to the side, uh-oh, watch out, sometime late at night after the first round. I think it was actually still, the first round was still going. We weren't even all the way through the first round, and he tweeted out those emoji eyeballs, and it seemed like maybe he found out something very interesting behind the scenes or something. We don't know. And then on top of that, Jayden Daniels went live on Instagram that night after the first round ended, and Brandon Aiyuk pulled up to his live stream and put a W in the live chat. So is there something cooking up behind the scenes that we just may not know about, that Jayden Daniels may be a little privy to? Maybe Brandon Aiyuk knows something. He yeah, man, we about to be teammates next year or something like that. You just never know. Maybe Adam Peters and company are already working on something behind the scenes. We'll never know until it happens or it doesn't happen, because Adam Peters is running a very tight-lipped organization right now. But hey, man, did Brandon Aiyuk just go ahead and tell Jayden, hey, man, even though they never traded for me, I'm gonna come over there as a free agent in 2025. You just wait. Just wait on it. I'm on my way, type of thing. And again, Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk are as close as friends as you can be. And with them being ex-college teammates, I'm pretty sure Jayden Daniels would love nothing more than to reunite with this guy. And, I mean, unless Luke McCaffrey becomes this big body receiver, or even my Georgia Bulldog, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, who we signed as an undrafted free agent, even though I don't think he's going to have a big impact on this roster, and even if he does make the 53-man roster, I don't see him being a go-to target. It would be nice to have a Brandon Aiyuk type guy that goes up and makes contested catches consistently. It would be really nice just to kind of switch it up, because right now we have a whole bunch of shifty route running, get open type of guys. A Brandon Aiyuk would be the last piece we need to this receiving core to make it diddly. Luke McCaffrey could become that guy. We'll see. But I've seen Brandon Aiyuk do it at the NFL level. We have not seen Luke McCaffrey do it yet, because not only is he a rookie, so he hasn't played an NFL game yet, but he's also only been playing wide receiver for 2 years so far in his entire life. He made the switch from quarterback to receiver just 2 years ago. So there's expected to be some rawness to his game. It would be lovely to have a Brandon Aiyuk that steps in and you know immediately what you're getting. And just to let you know, this 2024 NFL season is his 5th year option season. So this is literally it for Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers if they do not sign him long term. He will leave up out of there. Right now, he's getting his $14.124 million guaranteed cap hit for 2024. Again, this is his 5th-year option deal because he was drafted in the first round. Of course, the 49ers picked it up. But now, after the 2024 season, if they don't lock that down, he's more than likely going to leave out of there. And if I had to bet money on most likely landing spots, it is the Commanders. But the problem is, when you're taking a look at all of the top wide receiver deals right now, as far as average annual money in their contracts, it's very expensive. AJ Brown's making $32 million a year. Amon-Ra St. Brown's making 30. Tyreek Hill 30, Devontae Adams 28, Cooper Kupp 26, Devonta Smith 25, DK Metcalf 24, Deebo Samuel, his teammate, currently 23. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make well above that. We might as well not even keep going. The only real notable name that we should even mention after that is Terry McLaurin making $23 million per year, because that takes me to my next point. How are we going to pay everybody if we go and do this? I would love to get Brandon Aiyuk, but how is the cap space even going to work? Remember, we have to pay Terry McLaurin in the 2026 offseason. So a year after we potentially bring Brandon Aiyuk here for big time money, then you're going to have to pay Terry McLaurin the very next offseason. And then if for some crazy reason the Commanders don't pick up Jahan Dotson's 5th-year option, you'll have to pay him in 2026 as well. But me projecting them, assuming that they will pick up his 5th-year option, then you'll have to pay him big money in 2027. So even best case scenario, you'll have to sign 3 receivers to big wide receiver contracts 3 years in a row and constantly keep resetting the market. 2025 with Brandon Aiyuk, then 2026 with Terry McLaurin, and then 2027 with Jahan Dotson. Can we even afford to do that? I highly doubt it at that point. So they're probably just going to keep looking for a receiver in the draft. And they may even prioritize receiver early in this upcoming 2025 draft next year. And also, I was wondering, do y'all want me to go ahead and do a way too early mock draft for the Commanders for 2025? Let me know if y'all are interested in that, because I may just go ahead and knock one of those out like really quick. Like, instead of doing like my 30 to an hour long minute videos, I may just do like a quick little 10-15 minute explaining why these are the positions we should attack first and why these players may be there. Just let me know that in the comment section, of course. Now, moving on, Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show and dropped a few bombs. First of all, outside of Commanders land, one of the more notable ones was that he said, I think the Giants wanted Joe Alt to slide to them at number 6. So basically, it sounds like their favorite pick was potentially Joe Alt. Luckily, he didn't go there. And I hate to go against Malik Neighbors twice a year, but hey, who's going to throw it to him? I mean, you even saw the interview when they asked him, which was crazy. Like, they asked Malik Neighbors, how do you feel about your new quarterback? And he gave some answer to the extent of, I got to meet him. And it's like, dog, you could at least lie and be like, yeah, he got a good arm, he's mobile. You know, you don't have to meet a guy to know if he's good or not. I'm pretty sure you know you're going within the top 10 of the draft. I'm pretty sure you know everything about the top 10 teams. Even as a Washington Commanders fan that have nothing to do with the Giants, I'm not going to the draft. I have no chance of being drafted by the Giants. Even I could lie just real quick on the spot and give you the best positive reinforcement and review of Eli Manning. I mean, my fault. Oh, Lord. Daniel Jones possible. I mean, the fact that he just kept it a thou wow. He like, man, I don't know, man. Basically, he was like, I can't speak on it. So again, to my point, Malik Neighbors, different, but who's going to get him the ball? And right now, Malik Neighbors is probably thinking the same exact thing. But now, most importantly, on to the Commanders part of this Adam Schefter segment on Pat McAfee. He said, quote, the truth is, the 2 quarterbacks they had in consideration were either Jayden Daniels or JJ McCarthy. Drake Maye was not going number 2 overall. He said that definitively. He said literally, quote, Drake Maye was never going to go to the Commanders at 2. Unquote. And that is a bombshell. That's interesting. We heard rumors about that leading up to the draft, but I was starting to think like maybe that's just one of those parts of Lions season. We didn't know what to believe. We weren't even necessarily sure if Jayden Daniels was the guy, even though everybody and their mama was saying that he was, and the betting odds had it at an increased odds and everything like that. I mean, you fooled me with the Ben Johnson situation. You weren't going to get me again with Jayden Daniels, so I didn't actually know what to really put my belief and heart into. But this is really interesting news. If true, and the way Adam Schefter said it, again, he said it with his chest. He said it so firm. He said it so confident. Like the New York Giants one about Joe Alt over Malik Neighbors. He said, I think. with the Commanders one with JJ McCarthy over Drake Maye, he said it definitively. Like, obviously, they wanted JJ McCarthy over Drake Maye. If it wasn't Jayden Daniels, that means it would have been JJ McCarthy instead. And so that's really interesting. The Commanders never considered Drake Maye number 2 overall, even as happy as Adam Peters and Dan Quinn looked at his pro day, all of the things that it seemed, the Top Golf, how Drake Maye was speaking about the Commanders in comparison will really contrast to how Jayden Daniels was talking about the Commanders. All of that was just absolutely nothing. Pure smoke screens. And most importantly, even though I prefer Jayden Daniels over Drake Maye, I prefer Drake Maye over JJ McCarthy, but that shows if you're preferring Jayden Daniels and JJ McCarthy over Drake Maye, the only thing I can surmise from that is that you want to win as soon as possible, and you're not willing to wait however long it takes for Drake Maye to develop into a quarterback that can actually go out there and start games for you. That's what it sounds like. And again, I made the point months ago, leading up to the draft, that you don't sign all of these free agents, all of these veterans, especially the one-year deals, if you're not trying to be competitive. Because again, my point is, why go through all of that if you're going to sign a guy that you feel like is not ready to necessarily start day one? Why go through all of that and then basically stifle the development of all of the younger guys? Because basically, if you're willing to not have to draft a quarterback, first of all, drafting a quarterback 2nd overall that's not ready to start day one, week 1 is insane already. But my biggest point is that a lot of people probably aren't looking at it this way, but like, if you don't plan on really focusing on winning this immediate season, the first season of the rebuild / recalibration that Dan Quinn calls it, then you're better off sending out all of the young guys. And yeah, they're going to make mistakes. Yeah, we're going to lose more games because of it. But long term, they'll benefit mightily from getting a lot of meaningful snaps in real regular season NFL action. So there's no point in signing all of these veteran free agents. At this point, let your team have holes. Because maybe one of the guys that you consider a hole, a weakness to the team, with him going out there and being forced to learn on the fly, on the job, then they can become immensely better. You can basically expedite their development by just throwing them out there. Bringing in a bunch of one-year veteran guys only hurts their development. I mean, of course, they're not out there making mistakes, but that shows you're prioritizing winning over development. Maybe you're doing a healthy mix of both, but signing all of those veteran free agents showed me we were more than likely taking a quarterback that's ready to go now, and a lot of people feel like JJ McCarthy's more ready to play now than Drake Maye, even with his limited amount of throws. So it adds up, it makes sense, but again, me personally, I would prefer to bank on Drake Maye's ceiling than to take a JJ McCarthy, but that's just me. But I can fully see from the point of view of the Commanders why they prefer JJ McCarthy. I just, as in Rico of Street Scores, don't necessarily prefer JJ McCarthy. Now moving on. Also, Sports Geek let it be known that the Washington Commanders are the 5th happiest fan base right now out of the entire NFL, man. I'm very happy to hear that. The Washington Commanders have had a 66% positive reaction to their picks in the NFL draft, even though the other 34% seem to be the loudest. Right now, the Commanders fan base is the 5th happiest out of the entire NFL. So just to let you know, if you're a Commanders fan out there and you think our fan base is extremely negative, just know that it's way worse out there. There are 27 team fan bases out there that are even more negative than ours right now. So if you're looking around, you think, man, the Commanders fan base seem to be doom and gloom. They have the PTSD from the previous regime. This is not the same thing. You need to get out of that. Stop being so depressed. If you think it's bad with us, it's worse with pretty much almost everybody else in the NFL. So enjoy it. I know it doesn't feel like it necessarily when you get on Twitter and things like that, but we are the 5th happiest fan base right now, at the least the 5th most optimistic. The article goes on to say the Commanders were also one of the teams that sparked the most conversation around their selections. With 34,000 tweets made about the team, the Commanders were also the 8th most tweeted about team over the draft weekend as well. And so the happiest fan bases, you have the Steelers at 72%, the Bears at 70%, the Eagles at 69%, Rams at 68%, and then us 5th at 66%. And if you want to know the rest of the top 10, Chargers 65%, Dolphins 64%, Cardinals 62%, Cowboys somehow 60%, but they're always going to be confident no matter how bad things look. And then Raiders 59%. I mean, the Cowboys fans I know in real life, they aren't necessarily too happy, but I guess the Cowboys fans that are just always ignorantly confident going into every season, where it's always Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. I guess they make up a large percentage of them somehow being the ninth happiest fan base, because from what I know in real life, my Cowboys fans that I know, they're not too happy. They're talking about joining the Commanders of the Ravens, because a lot of them are from the DMV, and they're like, yep, I should have never been over here rooting for this team in the first place. That's my bad. A lot of them basically saying, I'm not coming back to the team until Jerry Jones is gone, in a very similar way that a lot of people felt about Dan Snyder. So I thought that was funny. Also, just wanted to bring up a point. This is completely random, has really nothing to do with nothing else. But Jarvis Landry, 5-time Pro Bowler, is expected to participate in the Jaguars' upcoming rookie camp. And the main reason I wanted to bring this up is because he has a relative athletic score of 0.27. And I know a lot of people saw my Georgia Dogs, Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint, the wide receiver's raw athletic score was a 1 point something. And I know I kept seeing a lot of people ask, man, how bad can it get? I feel like I could do a 1 point something. Well, just to let you know, it can be way worse. You have a Jarvis Landry who's a 0.27 raw athletic score. That's the lowest I think I've ever seen. And he was a really good wide receiver at a certain point in time. So I just wanted to point out the fact that you can still succeed at the NFL level with a very low raw athletic score. There's a reason we brought him in. 0 drops on 88 targets, best blocking wide receiver, arguably out of the entire class. He comes with the high floor. He doesn't come with much of a ceiling. I'm not about to sit here and act like he's just this athletic freak that happened to test poorly. No. He does have a low ceiling, but I'm just letting you know that you can succeed at receiver, even if you are a really low relative athletic score like a Jarvis Landry. 0.27 is crazy. To ball, I mean, he balled out for years, man. We were even, when he was a free agent at one time, our fan base hoping that we somehow landed him. So there you go. Just to prove us, just to help my boy Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint out a little bit. And then also, betting odds to win Offensive Rookie of the Year right now, Jayden Daniels is 3rd. Last time I checked, like literally a day or two ago, he was 5th. But now, when it comes to best odds, he's 3rd with a plus 900. When it comes to FanDuel, he is plus 900. And then DraftKings has him as plus 650. But either way, no matter where you look, he is 3rd place, right ahead of J.J. McCarthy. So it's Caleb Williams, then Marvin Harrison Jr., then Jayden Daniels, then J.J. McCarthy, then Malik Neighbors, then Drake May, then Xavier Worthy. Even though he's the latest pick out of any of these guys, arguably by far. Keon Coleman is the only one I believe that even went in the second round that's in the top. Oh, my boy A.D. Mitchell, yes sir. I love the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm seeing some Brock Bowers. You know what I'm saying? They gotta start. You better pay attention to Lad McConkey though. Lad McConkey only 2 places behind my boy Brock Bowers. I think he should be higher than that, because I believe that he's immediately gonna step in as Justin Herbert's favorite target. So don't sleep on my Georgia Bulldogs, man. I just gave you a whole reason why you shouldn't sleep on Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. You better not sleep on Brock Bowers or Lad McConkey either, but let's get it. The problem with Brock Bowers is who's going to throw to him. But either way, just basically to summarize, Jayden Daniels is 3rd right now in betting odds according to 3 betting places. The other 2, Bet365 and whatever that other logo is that I'm looking at right now, they don't have them set up yet. But hey, man, I think Jayden Daniels has an honest shot to win an Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm not playing at all. And then lastly, before we get up out of here, Kevin Sheehan did a great interview with former Skins quarterback John Beck, and how he basically broke down how he's been training new Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels for several years now. And he said at the 48:02 mark below, he gives some excellent insight on Jayden Daniels that really probably nobody else in existence could give you. So if you want to go check that out on Kevin Sheehan's podcast, please do so. But the most important thing was that Resh Manuel pointed out, I thought this was a funny but a great point. He said, it still blows my mind that a bottom 3 quarterback the past 5 years in Washington, and we've had a lot of bad ones, but John Beck was one of the worst ones. He is now somehow instrumental to the future of this franchise at quarterback. But good for Beck. Guess he found his calling in private coaching. But it is amazing that one of the worst quarterbacks, and again, we had a lot of them over these last 25 years, one of the worst ones in John Beck is going to play a large role into whether Jayden Daniels succeeds or not. And that's just our new franchise quarterback that we hope is the best that we've had in 25 years. That's amazing, but that's how it goes, man. A lot of these bad quarterbacks that have never worked out, they're just so nuanced and know how to read the field. They're so great with technique that they can help a guy that's talented, naturally talented like a Jayden Daniels, become a great quarterback. He's been doing a great job thus far. It's not like it would be different if we just hired him. This was his first year working with Jayden Daniels, but he's been working with him for several years, and Jayden Daniels was a second overall pick, partially due to him. So I feel like he's been doing a great job so far. Jayden Daniels arguably has like some of the best mechanics we've seen coming out of a draft. That's why he gets some CJ Stroud comparisons, because a lot of people say, like, when we're talking about college quarterbacks coming out of the draft with near perfect mechanics, I mean, you could argue with CJ Stroud, Jayden Daniels gap everybody else that's been drafted in the past few years. So whatever John Beck's doing, I'm assuming it's working. Keep up the good work, because Jayden Daniels' footwork, his technique, all of that stuff, yeah, the throwing motion, beautiful. So, hey, man, I'm not worried about it, but Resh Manuel brings up a funny and great point that is wild. John Beck, Jayden Daniels, crazy. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Jayden Daniels potentially winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Commanders potentially just, instead of trading for Brandon Aiyuk, how about you just wait until 2025 to sign him as a free agent without having to give up any draft capital? How do you feel about Adam Schefter saying that the Commanders never wanted Drake Maye, especially the people that prefer Drake Maye? I would love to hear from y'all point of view. Do you feel like Adam Peters is missing something? Because remember, they said Jayden Daniels was unanimous, and like everybody, once they said they've known for a while, ever since they met with him individually, he was the guy for weeks now leading into the draft. But as far as JJ McCarthy, Adam Schefter didn't specifically tell us if JJ McCarthy was unanimously over Drake Maye. Maybe some people in the building prefer Drake Maye over JJ McCarthy. Maybe it was somewhat like 60-40 there. Who knows? We didn't get the exact details on that, but let me know, especially from the Drake Maye fans point of view, how y'all feel about JJ McCarthy being a butt. And the guys that prefer JJ McCarthy even over both quarterbacks leading up to the draft, let me know how you feel about hearing that. I'm pretty sure y'all definitely feel good about it. Y'all, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some I told you so's in the comment section. I'm looking forward to it, man. Again, I'm never afraid to be wrong, so I love seeing people take credit for what they said previously, pull up receipts, all of that type of stuff. So let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Do not leave this video without leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it, man. Y'all don't understand. Also, be on the lookout, because I will be live streaming in a couple of hours, so make sure you pull up to the live stream, because this is a live stream for y'all. This is the call-in show where you call in and voice your opinions on how you feel about this entire draft. I still haven't even done my draft breakdowns, so I kind of like the fact that I haven't yet, because y'all can't cheat off my notes. I'm gonna come out with my notes soon. Y'all can't cheat off my notes. Again, my notes are already ready though. I got all my stats. I wish I could just show you my computer screen right now. I have everybody in a different window. I have some undrafted free agents in individual windows. I have all of the stats. I have weaknesses, strengths. I have my comps ready. I have what other people, like other experts, have said about the guy and everything like that. Raw relative athletic scores, the RASs. I have it literally for every player. It's about just getting the time to sit down, record, and edit it. And right now I'm still working through some of the most notable undrafted free agents. Then we're going to work our way back up through the draft, starting with my boy. We got Dominique Hampton next, because we're going to work from backwards all the way up. We already did Javonte Jean-Baptiste. We're going to work our way from Dominique all the way up to Jazon Newton, because I've already done the bookends of the draft. I got to do everybody in between. And again, we're going to work from late round up to second round, early second round of Jazon. And again, I'm going to knock out some undrafted free agents on the way. So again, I have all of my notes ready. So, it's there. So I just can't wait to see how y'all feel about the draft without even necessarily knowing exactly how I felt about it. I'm just curious, because I don't want anybody to have a biased opinion based on how y'all think I may feel about it. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how y'all's opinions are. And of course, like I keep telling y'all every time I've mentioned this call-in show, make sure you come in with all of your thoughts organized and concise, because I'm going to have to be really strict about this 3-minute timer, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of people trying to call in and let their opinions be heard. We had a lot of callers before the draft. Imagine what's gonna happen after the draft. We be like 15 deep in line on the phone lines waiting for people to get through their 3 minutes so the next guy can. Some people be about 45 minutes away just sitting there on hold with their phone. So please make sure you stick to your 3 minutes. I'm gonna have to be really strict about it in a couple of hours, because I know for a fact there's gonna be a lot of people trying to call in. And of course, if any of y'all want to pull up in the chat and maybe ask a couple of questions about how I felt about the draft, I'll answer those. I won't go into too much detail because I gotta wait for my video breakdowns of these guys and my film sessions later on, but we'll get there. So yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all. Stay tuned. Make sure you be on the lookout for all of the content and the live stream tonight. Catch y'all later. Do not leave this video without leaving a like. Catch y'all later. I'm out.